Network.
Welcome to Games World. Tonight is review night, so please enter the House of Games.
Hello, and good to see you once again at our House of Games, the guide to the best buys in the gaming market.
I'll be checking out the Videotron, the latest in video technology. And there's good news for all you Mortal Kombat freaks out there too, as the arcade machine has been converted to console. So we'll be taking a detailed look at how it was done.
To start the show off with a bang, let's get straight on with the first review. And it's Cybernator on the SNES. Plugging yourself into a heavily armoured, missile-dripping exoskeleton and destroying space stations by the handful won't cost you many grey cells. You must, though, keep on destroying, maiming, killing and mutilating, otherwise it could well cost you your life. Set over 7 increasingly tough levels, your first task is to master the complex controls of your futuristic assault suit. Learn to lock your firepower, run and jump, and then take the battle to the alien hordes hovering in outer space.
Cybernator on the Super NES isn't your usual run-of-the-mill sort of shoot-'em-up. You control a big Japanese robot bloke who's rock hard, and on his own as well. You have to infiltrate enemy areas, and there's lots of shooting, and you have to use your shield lots and run around and pick up pods for extra energy. But it's a bit sort of over-complex for no real reason. You have lots of buttons that do all sorts of different things, and I managed to get through a level by just hitting fire, really.
Well, I thought Cybernator was a very good game. It drew me in very well. It was very easy to use. I'm not a regular computer games freak, but even I enjoyed it. I thought the graphics were excellent, and the sound was pretty good. And for anybody who's desperate to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's a definite must.
This music in Cybernator is absolutely terrible. It's all sort of da-da-da-da-da, Japanese kind of stuff that you get in Zelda 3 or something like that, and it really doesn't suit the game. Luckily enough, the volume level is below the level of the sound effects, which are excellent, and it's very playable and great fun.
I give it a 7.
I'd score it 8 out of 10, mainly because I love the idea of being indestructible.
Cybernator I loved, and I'd give it 9 out of 10.
Rating a 7, an 8 and a 9, shooters don't come much more slicker than this. This one's going to Game Heaven. The violent theme is sure to continue with Jane's next feature.
All arcade fans will know and love Mortal Kombat, the awesome beat-em-up that makes Street Fighter 2 look like a Girl Guides picnic. The game, being made for the SNES, Mega Drive, Master System, Game Boy and Game Gear, won't be out until August, but House of Games had an exclusive peek at the game in development.
I've been developing Mortal Kombat for Acclaim for the last 9 months. When we first got the machine, it was the most incredible task because it just wasn't designed to go down to the small console machines like the Sega Genesis, Master System, Game Gear, etc. Rather than actually hand-drawing all these sprites and these graphics from the arcade machine, we decided to get the original graphics from Williams and using our own utilities that one of our producers, Gary Liddon, wrote, cut and pasted the graphics down into a format so we could literally dump them into the console.
These are the original graphics. They're pretty large in size and they take 64 colours, which is too much for any of the systems that we're going to convert onto. But by running through special programs, we managed to actually produce these graphics here. Now, the Genesis has only got 16 colours, whereas the original graphics were in 64 colours. And also, the Genesis can't have sprites the same size as the original arcade, they have to be smaller. So this is what they look like once they've been converted down to 16 colours in the correct size for the Genesis. The Game Gear is even worse, it's only got 12 colours. And the Game Boy is the worst of all, and it's only got 4 colours. And they're all grey as well, so they look sort of pretty bad on the screen. But once they're up and running on the Game Boy, they look really, really good.
Well, it's fine once you've got the graphics out, but how do you get them actually working so quickly? And that was really down to very clever programming techniques. We've got some very good compression, we've got some very fast sprite utilities and some sprite programs within the actual game, and it's really down to 10 years worth of programming experience by all our programmers. The end result is what you see there now. Mortal Kombat is pretty stunning as far as I'm concerned. I think we've done a very good job on it. The programmers certainly need to be congratulated, and I think that will do very well this Christmas.
Back to the world of make-believe now with one of my old television favourites. Hello, Fred. Flintstones on the Mega Drive. With all of the characters taken straight out of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, you get the chance to play Fred as he tries to cope with a series of prehistoric family disasters. Wilma's gone and lost her jewellery, and your kid Pebbles has decided to go walk about in the desert. You're on your own here, without even your trusty pal Barney Rubble to help you find out who's behind the disappearance of your belongings. On some of the levels, it's simply a matter of running and clubbing, doing away with all manner of prehistoric baddies to recover your valuables. On other levels, you've got to swim through piranha-infested pools and drive till you drop along lethal desert roads.
I thought Flintstones was good. I liked the opening sequence with the dialogue between Fred and Wilma, although it would be nice to have had that in sound as well. The graphics were very good and it's easy to use. It's a very sort of bog-standard game. Go along the course, gather as many points as you can and hit a few people on the way. But quite a lot of fun, and I didn't get bored of it.
There's not really that much to it, and it's very weird, the difficulty levels. Sometimes it's really easy for a whole level, and then all of a sudden there's an impossible bit which will take you hours and hours to get past. The graphics are okay, nothing too amazing. They're a bit flickery at times, which is strange for the Mega Drive. The sound, though, is great, especially the music. It's really fun.
It's a standard run-along, jump across platforms, hit things with your club sort of a game. The one nice little twist is that when Fred jumps to climb onto a shed or a ledge or a cliff or something, he just about manages to get on with his fingernails, and then he can sort of scramble up the edge, which is quite good. Unfortunately, just like the NES version and just like the Game Boy version, it's a bit short and it's a bit easy as well. Stick it on easy mode and I think you'll see this off in a couple of days, if not a day. You'll have a Yabba Dabba 2 time? I don't think so.
I'd score Flintstones 7 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Flintstones on the Mega Drive gets a 5.
Flintstones on the Mega Drive. Well, I'm sorry, Fred, you're just too easy. Battletoads was too tough. The Flintstones, you'll finish it too quickly. Now it's time to review another new release on the Game Boy. And it's Zen. Zen Intergalactic Ninja, sole survival of a superior race and master of martial arts, has got his work cut out in this Game Boy blaster. Lord Contaminus is polluting Earth with gallons of revolting rubbish. You, as zany Zen, must stop him. It's set over 4 levels of environmental disaster, like the rancid county dump, acid forest and Slickson oil tanker. You must rescue birds from oil spills, shoot debris from the sky, and generally clear the world of toxic waste. Use your photon stick wisely to zap Contaminus's cronies, clear up on the levels and the sub-games. Then it's off to meet the lunatic in the final battle for the Earth's personal hygiene.
The main sprite's nice and big, and the music's all sort of strident and moving and powerful. Well, as far as you get on the Game Boy anyway. But other than that, there's not really very much to it. You sort of walk along, hit things, walk along a bit more, hit things, jump a gap.
You walk along, you have a big stick and you can hit people, and you can jump across gaps and hit people in mid-air and land again and hit them again. And that's it, really. If you have either of the Turtles games, I think you should give this a wide berth. However, if you don't have either Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles 1 or 2, then you could have a look at this.
I didn't think Zen worked really well as a game. It's not really suitable for the Game Boy because the graphics were just flickering all over the place. It was trying to be too fast, and I don't think it's got quite the right controls on the console to make the game work. I got bored by it quite quickly.
I'll give it 6 out of 10. It's fun for a while, but not much longer.
5.
I'd give it 5 out of 10.
Nice to see an environmentally friendly game, but it's not a scratch on Echo.
To tomorrow night, Games World's live Wednesday night show, Try Your Luck, is going to make British TV history by bringing the very latest interactive television technology to cable viewers around the country. It's called Videotron, and here's Andrew Curry and the team from Try Your Luck with all the know-how.
Videotron is one of the largest cable companies in the UK. What makes it different from the other companies is it has a cable converter which is unique in that it allows interactive television and also some video games to be played through it. The technology is very simple. Through the converter box, which just sits on the top of the television set, it's about the same size as a video recorder, slightly smaller in fact, and the handset, which is just an ordinary television handset but with an additional set of buttons which allow the viewer to interact.
Now make sure that you push the button. You did.
It allows you either to choose between four channels while something's going out, a sports program or a concert, or it allows you to respond to questions which are being put to you by the television set. So an icon will come up on the screen, which is the moment where you can decide whether you're going to answer A, B or C to a question. And in very sophisticated uses of it, it allows you to keep a score as well, your own personal score.
Now, we've got a qualifier to play here, and our winner is, in our qualifier, hello?
What's going to happen on Try Your Luck is that when Mick Brown asks the contestants the qualifying questions, which will be multiple choice questions, the viewers at home who have the interactive facility will be able to answer the questions when an icon appears on their screen, just by using the coloured interactive buttons on their handset.
As director of Try Your Luck, I decided to use Videotron because it made the programme even more interactive. You could find yourself lucky a bit later on, all right?
The rest of them might be dafter than me, you never know.
You never know. For the viewer at home, it won't really make much difference to the programme that they see. Basically, we make a few small alterations for Mick Brown, give him a little bit more time to introduce things, which allows Videotron to actually technically get involved. And we've decided to make the qualifiers now a multiple choice.
Believe it or not, using this same interactive box and the same interactive handset, you're also able to play video games through the VideoWay system. There's actually quite a large number of games, and they range from things like tennis to chess and things like that. You're going to be able to do a whole range of things without ever leaving your house, whether those are checking a bank statement, ordering up shopping, or just having a good time with a computer game. The sorts of numbers we're looking at, probably by the end of the decade, 3 million households in the UK, that's about 8 or 9 million people, would have access to this sort of system.
If you want to see the wonders of Videotron, tune in to Try Your Luck tomorrow night on Sky 1, 6 p.m. Now it's time for this week's quiz. Take a look at this clip from Joe and Mac and see if you can work out what grisly fate is just around the corner. As always, the answers after the break. Welcome back. Did you work out what happened next? Well, if you go around picking on baby dinosaurs, sooner or later their mothers are bound to come calling. Moving on now, though, to the database, our weekly roundup of the latest computer and video game news, lovingly compiled especially for you.
We start this week with Alien 3, a new release on the Super Nintendo. Rescue the hostages and blast those aliens in this extremely impressive platform shoot-'em-up. Watch House of Games next week for a comprehensive review of the game. Comic lovers out there will be keen to get their hands on this little number, the brand new Street Fighter 2 comic, featuring the animated adventures of all your favourite Street Fighter stars. It should be in your local import shop very soon. The game that we reviewed a couple of weeks ago, Lethal Weapon, is now out on the Game Boy. We'll leave it up to you to decide what you think of it. If you saw our report on the European Computer Trade Show and thought that that was impressive, you ain't seen nothing yet. This weekend in Chicago sees the Summer Computer and Electronics Show, the world's biggest and best computer show. Keep watching House of Games for an incredible report on the Summer CES later in the series. Time once again now for the database exclusive High Five chart.
At number 5 is last week's number 2, PGA Tour Golf 2, the Mega Drive Classic. Mickey Mouse's Land of Illusion finally finds its way onto the Master System and into the number 4 slot in this week's chart. Number 3 is last week's number 1, Super Parodius on the Super Nintendo. You'll have seen us review Summer Challenge on the Mega Drive a couple of weeks back, and now in its first week of release, this multi-sport sim finds itself at number 2. And at number 1, what else? It has to be Star Wing.
So far tonight we've had one game heaven. Let's see if we can make this one go places too. And it's MiG-29 on the Mega Drive. General Jesus of Azaria has invaded the oil-rich Principality of Satar, which could upset the balance of power in the Middle East. So serious is this threat to the world that the US and the Soviet states have decided to pool their aerial resources. Climb aboard your state-of-the-art MiG-29 and take part in 6 grueling air-to-air, air-to-ground and air-to-sea missions to destroy the forces of the tyrant Jesus. Master the simple-to-use flight controls and practice firing off your missiles and cannons. Then move off to take out the enemy communications centres, fleet, nuclear missile sites and Scud missile sites.
This is the Ruskies' answer to America's F-15, or the F-16 or something, anyway. It's really fast and it's good and it turns and shoots and kills people. No, not quite the sort of game you'd expect on the Mega Drive, because this has got polygons in it. All the landscape and the plane and the views and everything is all done using clever 3D mathematics to make polygons on the screen. And it's quite good, but it's a bit slow. You don't really get much of an impression of tearing up the airways in a super jet plane. Don't think it's the sort of game that most Mega Drive owners will go for, but it's all right. What's going on?
The idea of this pilot flying across the Middle East, I thought for a start, was quite prejudiced and not very right on. I didn't think the graphics were very good, and the control of the aircraft was just far too complicated for the keyboard. Flight Simulator, I think, should have proper computer keyboards, so a bit of a thumbs down to that one.
They've tried very hard with it. The main problem being that the control system, most flight sims, you need lots of controls, and they get around it by using various menus. But that does tend to take away from the gameplay when you're in the middle of a dogfight and you have to pull down a menu to select a weapon or shoot something. But it's a valiant effort. The sound's fine. The in-between gameplay areas graphics are fine, but the actual graphics in the game are predictably enough very slow.
MiG-29, I'll give it a 7.
I'd give the MiG-29 2 out of 10. It kept me amused for about 2 minutes while I tried to work out what the controls were, but once I did, I was bored immediately.
I'd give it 7 out of 10 for effort. If you stick with it, it can be quite good fun.
MiG-29's been accused of being too slow for the Mega Drive. I disagree. If you're looking for a flight simulator, this is the one to get.
You've been watching our expert reviewers this evening, and you may well be thinking that you could do a better job. Well, if you want to prove it, I'm always happy to hear from you. So if you want to review your favourite games on television, just drop me a line. And these guys did just that.
Thousands of lemmings are on the loose, marching towards extinction unless you can save them. Lose one lemming and you risk losing them all. You better be good. The farther you get, the faster the lemmings hurtle towards their demise. One wrong move by you could wipe out an entire species.
I'm Tim. I reckon Lemmings is one of the best games around. It has good graphics and brilliant sound. It is an excellent puzzle game. I rate it 9 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Ben. Graphics, great animation of the lemmings and nice looking scenery. Sounds, a number of different jingles and bits of speech to add to the game's appeal. Playability, an addictive puzzle game which will keep you occupied for some time. I rate this 10 out of 10.
I'm Matt. I think Lemmings is a great game. The sound and the graphics are good, but I think the best things are the animation and the gameplay. But the speech lets it down a bit. I'm not very good at it, so I use the code to skip through the game. I rate it 8 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. I think Lemmings is one of the best games I've seen. If you liked humans on the Mega Drive, you'll love Lemmings. It has brilliant sound and graphics. Even the demo is really entertaining. I think people with Super NES have got a great game waiting for them, so go get it. I rate it 9 out of 10.
Middle West Game World is the best.
We like to think of the House of Games as fairly Gotham-esque, and that's where our 5th review comes from. It is, of course, Batman Returns on the SNES. Following on from the current trend, there's no sign of Batman's best buddy Robin in this one, but you can be sure that there's plenty of action in the Penguin and Catwoman stakes. Set over 7 stages, basically this one's a straightforward beat-em-up. There are clowns, flamethrowers and all manner of beastly bad guys, with an extra tough dude at the end of each level for good measure. Do look out for extra batarangs and much-needed power-ups, while knocking criminal heads together to earn your keep as numero uno superhero.
Hey, what's going on here? Some kind of weird experiment. That's better. Well, Batman Returns, I thought, was one of the best opening sequences to a game I've ever seen. It was recreating the film very well. The sound was excellent, the music was great, and the graphics worked very well, I thought. Once the game started, it was basically just hitting people, and the controls were very easy to use as well. But lots of different stages, and each stage I thought the graphics got better, so a good game.
Batman Returns is great. There are so many beat-em-ups on the SNES that I wouldn't have thought you could get one that was fun anymore, but it is. It's addictive, action-packed, brilliant music, and has some of the best animations I've seen on the SNES with really funny moves. It follows the plot of the film very well. It's mean, it's moody, it's nasty, and I loved it.
The Bat, the Cat and the Penguin. Well, not really. It's a bit like Final Fight, actually. There's lots of action going on, and you get hit lots, and you can hit lots of people, and there's people on bikes, and it's all quite good. However, how long is it going to last you? I don't know. I managed to get through 4 or 5 levels in one go, and thought, well, do I really want to play those levels again? Do I really want to beat up all those people again? I don't think so.
I'd give it a score of 7 out of 10.
It's great fun, 9 out of 10.
So, old incontinence pants on the Super NES, eh? I'm going to give it a 5.
If you've played a Batman game before, then you'll know exactly what to expect. This is solid beat-em-up Batman action.
So it's time to say goodnight for now, but watch next week when I'll be following up the feature on the Videotron by taking a look at how it works from someone's living room.
And I'll be scrutinising Bob on the SNES and King of the Monsters on the Mega Drive. Amongst our panel of reviewers will be Parallel 9's Richard Norton.
Yep, that's me. I'll see you next Tuesday on House of Games. See you there.
Rescue is back on Sky One screens in half an hour's time, but first, time to catch up on all the latest games taking place in that part of the world called E Street. Don't go away.